got 2 cubics to do. Good morning everyone, welcome back to another video. We're back on the extension. As you saw, we got screed delivered today. It is screed day, so this is the last technically structural part of the job to do today, and then from there it's flying through. So we have done some work here on plasterboarding and stuff. I'll show you that what we did. We did some work on the floor area of the kitchen as well. I didn't have my camera, I think it was Friday, so we got that all prepped as well. So I'll show you that what we did. And we're pretty much ready to get this screed done. So once this screed's done, we'll probably give it a day before we come back, and then when we come back, we'll be back to put in the last partitions and just complete all the plasterboarding. All right guys, so here is the space. So Kenneth's just taking up those boards. We need to cut the bottom of those boards and actually raise them up so that we can get the screed underneath them. Watch out, watch out. So that's what we're doing today. That's the first job we've got to do. So we did do some work on these. These roof lights. We basically did all the pretty much plasterboarding of all of them. Pretty much, we've done all inside of all of them. You guys can see here, inside all of them, they're all been done. So the ceiling is pretty much complete on this side. We also did, as you can see, we've got pink board on this underside area. We need to do a little boxing in here, which is going to be inside the bedroom, and then we've basically pretty much built it all the way around. So what we did is we used some batten on the wall to widen it out, mainly because the top of this steel plate is quite wide, it sticks out, so we've just missed it by coming out a little bit more wider to get around the steel plate here. And that's what we've done. Built a frame in here, screwed it into the joist above the ceiling, and then we've just caught our plasterboard straight across to there. So you've got to do the same thing here, and board all the way down here. So I think what we're going to do is we are just going to get the floor screeded, and then we'll build this partition area here. When we build that partition, we'll deal with this section from inside the room. It'll be a lot easier to figure it out, because we've got to do some boxing around here. We've got some pipes to run in here in the corner that need to run under this floor to go to the utility and bathrooms over there. So we're going to run a hot and cold water pipe through this insulation. We're going to cover it with another layer of DPM in here, and then we'll make the connections in the corner, which will get boxed in. So we've also got to put another layer of DPM on top of this, and then our screed will go on top of it. We got some radiator pipe, sorry about that. Got some radiator pipes as well to run as well. So we're going to run radiator pipes from here. I think the boiler guys left this like that. I think they're going to tap in eventually from here and here. This sort of flow and return. So I think this is the flow, this is the hot one. So we're going to eventually connect from these. So what we're going to do is we're going to run 2 pipes up and leave them in this area, one here and one here. We'll run them across the floor, and they're going to go on the wall here for where the radiators are going to be. So I've got to get the measurement of the spacing for the radiator. We're going to have quite a big radiator here. So we'll get those in the insulation, and then we'll cover that all with plastic today. So that's that. But what we did over here, I didn't show you guys, we didn't film yesterday. What I had done is I had rebuilt this wall here a couple of days before, block wall here. And because the old wall was just crumbling, so we took the bricks out and relaid it to give it something to hold the hardcore and insulation up to. And then we've put in, we had you can see our bag here, bag of hardcore. We also put soft sand on, level it and with the soft sand. Then we put this DPM down here. Then we put insulation down. And then we've got to put another DPM when we're ready. So what we're going to do, we're going to focus on this area. When we get all the way up to here, then we'll turn our attention to running the pipes in here, DPM down here, and screed that last area here. It was one more thing I mentioned. Oh yes, we've got some 25mm insulation that we need to put along the side borders to insulate the side. So we've got that to do as well, and then basically to screed this floor. Hey guys, quick update. So we have cleared out the space. You guys can see space is at a premium here. There's not much space to put anything. You can see we've got 2 fridges in here. We've got all those kitchen units. We've got a cooker. We've got all that stuff. We managed to pack it all up in that timber area and pack up our little storage cupboard. And we've also packed this area. So we're going to do this area last. When we're done here, we'll move those last few things to the side. So we've got a little ramp to get in here. So we basically pretty much done. We put our insulation border all the way around, which you guys can see. I need to document this as well for building control. We're about to put another layer of membrane down. Then after this layer of membrane, we are screeding. So I'm going to be using my laser level, which is over there. And I'm going to, you can see it on the wall here, but I'm going to set it in position where I want it. And I'll be using that to see my edge. It reflects quite well off the insulation, so I can see where my edges are and get level, and then I'll be able to level the middle. All right guys, so we are ready to go. So what we've done is we put in some DPM up to here, and we're probably going to stop about here, and then we'll deal with the rest of the DPM as we go along. So to show you guys how I'm gonna be doing this, so here's my laser, which I've set up to get the level that I want. Now the level, if you can see over here, of our floor is where this white timber is. You guys can see it. It's pretty much where we want it. This is where the existing floor is. So we want our screed to be level with that. So that's where the laser is set up now. You can see it some places. Let's see if you can see it. No, you can't. Oh, sorry. Plastic out of the way. This plastic down, but you can. I'm not sure if you guys can see it. There's a bit faint here. But what I basically do is, what I'll be doing, I use this as a reference point where it is here, which you can see down there, and I can just spin it around like this. You can see a little bit better on the dark plastic over there. As I spin it around, I can see my line transfer. So if you look here, you guys can see that line. That's the line that I'm going to be working with. So I'm going to start with doing sort of this corner here, probably work my way along this front area. And as I said, I can keep on spinning it around like that, and that gives me that level all the way around here. If you guys can see the level here. So I'll just spin it around like that, and then basically just work my way around. So I'll keep double checking it, but that's my reference point. So Ken's just going to start dumping the screed, and I'm going to start leveling it out from there. So this screed actually comes pre-mixed. It actually has, you might be able to see in the video, you might not. This actually has fibers in it as well. You might be able to see a little bit of fibers in it. Sort of like fiberglass fibers, which gives it extra strength. So that's normally what I use. So yeah, I'm just going to be using a trowel and a level, and I'm just going to try and get this level, screeding it in. So let's see how I get on. Guys, we are finished screeding. Mammoth job. But this is what we're looking like. That's literally every bit of it that we had. And you can see where we stopped there. So it was a little bit short. Well, it was quite a bit short, actually, I say. Because we had this area to do as well, which we didn't get to do. But in a way, to be honest, it's better that we did it in 2 sections because we just got no space. There's just no space to work. So we've literally screwed up to here. We're going to leave this for probably the day. And then we can put some boards down, move a couple of things over. And then what we'll probably do is get the partitions in. And then we'll work on this area as a separate area. Once these floors dry a bit more, we can move things over. Then we'll be working on the inside of this after we've partitioned it. And as I said, yeah, we can then just screed this little area. We're going to hand mix this one. I'm not going to order that. Minimum order is 2 cubic meters, which is almost £500. So we will buy it and mix it for that little area there ourselves. But yeah, this is what the space is looking like. It is looking really good. You can see the size of it now. And it's actually starting to look like something. So once you get to this stage, sort of, you're screeded. And we're starting to plasterboard, as you can see. You can see that this place is going to move along quite quickly. So yeah, we're basically almost ready for dot and dab. We've got obviously electrics and stuff, cabling, that's got to be run for sockets and stuff. And then we can dot and dab. We've got a boxing around these as steels as well. We've got a boxing around this steel. As I said, we've got some partitions to do, which is probably next thing that we'll do, so that all the electrical sockets in the partition can get run at the same time. And then we still got a utility room to put in as well, which I suggested that the partition starts there and comes around across like that and joins up to this room here. So you have a good sized utility room in there. She wants worktops, fridge and washing machines and all that stuff in there. And then you've just got the rest of this room here basically for your open dining kitchen with an island as well in the middle. But yeah, guys, this is what it's looking like. Looking good. So let us know what you think. If you like it, please like this video, comment, subscribe. We're going to see you on the next video. Take care. Thanks for watching.